Hello everybody, I'm Raphael Perry, and it's time for some more Battle Brothers with the Legends mod. Now, the Legends mod has actually been updated since the last time that I played, which means that my save with the First Stone, in the fledgling days of their campaign, is no longer compatible with the current version of the mod. So I think I'll just start again. You know what? Yeah, so we had a Crusader company. The First Stone, beautiful name there. It's going to go with a random map seed, because why not? The same banner as last time. Default options. We're going to change the amount of settlements to a multiple of 6, because 6 is the best number in the world. And then we will go to this next little page of options, which has changed slightly. So, all crafting recipes unlocked. No thank you. Bleeds count as kills. Yeah, it just means that if someone bleeds to death from your damage, you got the kill. And the reason this matters is that some of the perks brothers can get do keep track of how many times you've killed something, and it does matter. Recruit scaling basically means that as we gain in levels, the recruits available to us will also gain in levels, and their price will rocket sky high. Skip camping tutorial, sure. Okay. Distance scaling. If enabled, enemies will be stronger the further they spawn from civilization. I'm fine with this, alright? Equipment scaling means that as our company value rises, the quality of the equipment on the new recruits also scales up, and the prices go through the roof. Layered armor. Right, I both like and dislike this, and I don't know why they had to break the word aesthetic down into single letters with spaces after every single one. So, the layered armor mechanically is quite nice. It does mean that you won't see a lot of the suits, and it looks a little bit clunky currently. So I'm going to avoid it and just stick with the simple armor we know for now. Battle magic allows characters like the Seer and the Vala and the Warlock to have their magical abilities, basically. Without it, it makes for a really... Well, the enemies still have a bit of magic, and let's keep this on. We're not likely to have very many spellcasters anyway. Battle Sisters is basically the old gender equality button by a different name. I like having Battle Sisters in the game. I don't think there should be as many of them as there are with this option turned on. You know, I like having a few as something nice and special, a little bit rare and different, right? But I don't want there to be absolutely tons of them. Let's get in there and have some fun. So on the whole women front, you know, you can ask yourself, can women fight? You know what? If there are differences between men and women when fighting, you can argue about how great or small those differences are. And you know what? Overall, it doesn't really matter that much. Basically, it's more of a fact that we're playing in a medieval society, and if there's a big horrible disaster and most of the people in the society are killed, then if you've got more men than women left, you get all the women pregnant to help repopulate, and then you have to wait until after they've had babies, and probably for a year or two after that, before you can try again. Whereas if most of the men are killed, you know, one man can impregnate multiple women at the same time. Whereas, you know, if you've got 2 men and 1 woman, once the woman's pregnant, then, well, the men don't really get to do very much. If you got 1 man and 2 women, the 1 man can make both the women pregnant, you get loads of babies and repopulate faster. So there are reasons why in ancient times men would tend to do the fighting and women would be less inclined to, and it was just more of a practicality, really. Right. The bishop had told you that the world was dying due to the sins of man, that the end of days is upon us. The Dark Ones come, and only the furious justice of piety can hold it back. Since then, you have journeyed across the lands to find the root of the infection, to stem the tide of the plague. The more of the world you see, the worse it looks. The corruption is spreading. You've followed its tendrils back to its source. Here in these lands you will find the cause. Your faith cannot falter, for you bear the torch into the yawning darkness. The day of reckoning approaches. You must finish your preparations. To arms, brothers. Now, Sir Don, but obviously this is Sir Marius the Crusader, because it was Sir Marius last time. And Sir Marius is rather Spartan, fearless, but also cocky. Oh, fun. Now, this sword is the most overpowered thing in the game, I'm afraid. It really is. By which I mean, there are of course more powerful items, but the point in a campaign at which you gain access to them is that the reason it is so overpowered is that it has both slash and overhead strike. Slash, of course, being the attack of one-handed swords, overhead strike, split, and swing being the attacks of two-handed swords. Right, so we absolutely want composure to be immune to stun. And I'm going to do these levels one at a time. So yeah, oh yes, we want a brave knight. And then true believer, of course. We'll probably want to get him steadfast at some point as well. But for now, Sir Marius is a brave soul. Immune to stun, and he will not falter should his companions flee. Speaking of companions, he won't have, company size 2. Alright. Now, many of you Battle Brothers fans will be aware there's a new DLC coming. And it appears to be desert regions down to the south, which, to be fair, many people were asking for before... let's take this Leonard here. Back when the last DLC came out. And you know what? When it comes out, I will probably play it. Leonard is fragile and tiny. We'll call her Leonard the Small. And we'll spell Leonard correctly as well. I said correctly. Leonard. Right. So, yeah, I'm going to grab that. I'm going to play it. Of course, when it comes out, the Legends mod won't be compatible. So, hey, I'll just play it without the Legends mod, and that's fine. For now, though, of course, you know, Sir Marius the Crusader and Leonard the Small are off on their adventures. Yeah. So I presume that disabling the camping tutorial means we won't get the objective about learning all the camping skills, because we'll just have them all already. Again, that's okay, it's not a problem. You know, I'm just playing, it's like, 7:30 in the morning. I had a nice little nap earlier, but overall, look, that wagon came from somewhere, so we're going there, because there might be more work still. Admittedly, it's going somewhere, and the somewhere where it's going might be even closer. Aha! Here we are. Nesserwald. Do you have tasks to require? Yes, you do. Oh, we have a washerwoman and a nun. We should endeavour to... Oh, that's a long way to increase the company size. Having a nun in this religious company would be great, and there's a taxidermist here, that's fine. What's the quest? You find Just, the Burgermeister, reading a scroll. He throws the paper at you and asks you to read off the names. The handwriting is difficult, but not more so than the names themselves. You stop and apologise, stating you're not from these parts. The man nods and takes the scroll back. "'Tis all right, Sellsword. If you were wondering, those were the names of men, women and children who have passed in the last week." Last week? There were a lot of names on that list. The man, seeming to read you, nods somberly. "Aye, we are in a bad way. So many lives lost. We believe this to be the work of foul creatures, beasts beyond our ability to reason. Obviously, we'd like you to go and find and destroy them. Would you be Interested in such a task, mercenary? Oh, absolutely. What is it worth? Well, rest assured that what I'm offering you now is a fine price for your work. You'll be paid 400 crowns when the contract is done. It's not about the money, it's about being a hero. So, let's go hunt for these beasts out in the forests with our small spade-bearing companion. A peasant comes up to you with his clothes in shredded rags about him. With fair modesty, he's got his hands covering his groin. Please, sirs, come take a look at this horror. When you question what he's talking about, he throws his hands up, thrusting his hips at you. He turns a foot like a puppet, spun about, and takes off running, hooting and hollering. A woman walks up to you in the wake of the man's madness. She's got her hands against her bosom. He's gone mad on account of his brother being torn apart by the beasts. You turn to her, half expecting the lady to rip off her clothes and wobble her shapes in whatever direction she pleases. Instead, she simply stares at you. I know Nesselwald has hired some men to take care of these beasts. You certainly look the part of a hired hand. Please, sir, protect us from these evils and the evils that they spread. We move on in search of the foul beasts. Yeah. Those 8 peasants are either very brave or... Oh, wow, we need to get here. I hope those peasants steered well clear of the conflict, because now it's gonna get pretty brutal. They did not steer clear of the conflict! We now have a big problem. Those wolves are gonna wreak havoc on the local folk. Right, let's get Leonard up here onto the rise, where he can be safe. Peasants suicidally charge it. Now I can't get there at all. They're gonna die. They could have just run away. I can only save so many. So I'd better get in there and save as many as I can from these 2 wolves right now. Now watch as that wolf rips them to shreds. Yep. I knew it. Alright, Leonard, come down here near your master to offer some semblance of support and see how the job is done. You... Okay, so that peasant has seriously inconvenienced me, because now, if I were to swing, he is in the way and I can't target a blank hex of swing, so I have to go with individual slices. I should have gone for him, but I thought the peasant should be punished. And hopefully, once he is removed from the way... I mean, this is just a massacre. I mean, when I return to town, they may be extremely grateful that I've saved them from the monsters that did all this damage, but it would have been even nicer to not have the damage done in the first place. I mean, okay, so she's running away. She's seen some degree of sense. Okay, that wolf is a problem. We are coming down here and hitting it with a spade and missing. Okay, well then we'll deal as much damage as we can, and it's not quite enough. Yes, you run, lady. Scream and run. You'll live that way. Your friend there was not as wise. Okay, we will be replacing that spade, but in the meantime, Marius, head up here and find the foe. Oh, it's all the way over there. Oh, she's dead, isn't she? How lovely. You, run, old man. Why is he going that way? That is a problem. Leonard, if you could scout out the wolf. Marius, just follow. The wolf has run away. Very well. Let's hope it's learned its lesson, and we do have a few wolf pelts. These 2 peasants would really wish they'd just take an opportunity of the distraction we posed to flee as the wolf assaulted them. It's most unfortunate. Let's head into Nesselwald and get our reward. When you step into Jost the Burgermeister's room, he recoils almost instantly. What in the hells of the gods is in your hands, sellsword? You hold up the nape of a pelt. Black blood ropes out from the neck and splatters the floor. one of the beasts you were looking for. If you need evidence of arrest, I've got those waiting outside. The man holds his hands up, staring you. One is sufficient for my belief. Very good work, sellsword. Your pay will be with Erhard, a councilman you probably passed in the halls. He's got the ugly mug on him, and he'll be carrying the 400 crowns as promised. The man takes another look at the beast and then slowly shakes his head. May the dead and their survivors find peace in the passing of these foul creatures. Again, 400 crowns, and we're going to have to head off looking for work. This town, we don't have room in the company for more just yet. We need to become a little more established before we can take on greater numbers. Before people will trust us and say, yes, we'll throw in our lot with you. I see things that indicate there may be a fortress up ahead. It falls to you, the commander, to see that the company succeeds, not just on the battlefield, but also in fame and riches. And so you spend the evenings pondering about a bigger plan for the first stone in your tent while the men talk and laugh around the fire. You're never going to become a legend simply by chasing brigands and doing small-time contracts. What do you proclaim to the men of the company that you will set out to do? Oh, we need allies, straight up. It's one of the easiest ones to get, and this is not the fortress it seemed. Helfenstein, do you have tasks in need of doing? Yes, you do, and you have frightened villagers. Hooray! Alvard and Dieter here. Again, we have no room. A weaponsmith with ooh, if we had the money. There are some nice pieces of equipment here. But okay. Henrik the councilman's got a map of the cemetery on his desk. Half the plot squares appear to have been filled in with ink. Every square you see there has been robbed. Every night they come, and every night they can't quite seem to catch them. I'm at my wit's end here, and so I've decided to end this once and for all. I want you to go to the graveyard and kill every grave-robbing fool you see. Got it? Of course, what's the pay? He gesticulates with his hands, pointing at his fingers as if counting something. But it means nothing to you. Judging from experience, this is a good payment for the task. You'll be paid 80 crowns for in advance and another 320 when the job is done. So be it. Simple, faithful acceptance. The reward is in the doing. So, off we go. Now, it's going to be around the mountains. Of course it's around the mountains. That food will last long enough. Let's head off. So, as with the Lone Wolf origin, the Crusader origin suffers initially from a lack of tools, in that we have some very high-grade equipment which is going to get battered and sorely in need of repair rather quickly. And we're going to run out of funds to repair it with. So to begin with, our crusading knight will be rather battered and beaten. But hopefully if we succeed and do well, so shall he. So yeah, it's been a while since I last recorded Battle Brothers. I have a few other games that I haven't played for quite some time actually, that I've been meaning to get back to. I mean, it's been something like 6 or 7 months since I actually last played Call of Cthulhu, and I want to go finish that at some point. I'll probably get back to the other unfinished games as well, like A Plague Tale and the other Cthulhu game. Oh, was it Stygian? That's it. The grave robbers are here, just as promised. You catch them mid-dig and your 2 brothers jump over tombstones with their weapons raised. I imagine little Leonard doesn't leap so much as like sneak out from around the side of one of them and wave his spade and go "Rah!" a bit. And now he's in deep trouble because that dog is on a small hillock in front of him. It's a big dog with a height advantage, and little Leonard is not good at dealing with big dogs with a height advantage. Oh no. Oh, it's going to be so brutal. So our main objective here really is just hoping little Leonard survives. Right, Marius, do your best. That's not enough. That is a problem. Because it now means Leonard is going to get swarmed and killed. Yep. Okay, that is most unfortunate. Marius, you are living in a dark and grim world, my friend. Let's make it grimmer. Nice. With a mighty sweep of his blade, he takes out the dog and the man beside it. Excellent. Literally, how did he get hurt on his own turn? He wasn't trying to move away, was he? Because I don't understand how they do this occasionally at very low levels in the Legends mod, where enemies just get themselves hit. Right, we need you. And, oh, right, just stand on there then. By all means, come to my blade. Verily, let the sinners suffer the consequences of their sins. Yes, you shoot, I'll advance. And we'll see who dies first. You poor fool did not run away. The poor fool is now without a head. Poor Leonard the Small is no longer a part of the company. Does mean we could go back for that nun, though. And she's kind of waiting. Let's set these to repair. I'm tempted to put that on recycling, but no, he's on his own at the moment. He needs more company members. Alright, so we obviously want to increase the company size. And we want some more defense. A bit more health would actually be nice. But we always want to be pumping that resolve. Always. Because it'll never do to have the Crusader turn tail and flee. That's just not right. That's a lot of mountains. We might as well stroll back across them. It'll be slow, I know. I was thinking we could get faster walking round, but no, it wasn't to be, sadly. So we'll come across the back of the Earthwatch Hills, although they're more like mountains, really. Heading towards Helfenstein. And then we'll head south and hire ourselves a nun, because it's rather fitting, really, to have more religious characters in this company. It would be nice if the Crusader origin would have a higher chance of finding nuns and monks. I can't remember if it does. I don't actually think it does. It might have an increased chance of monks, but not nuns. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, this is a... Marius is clearly cocky and overconfident. Sorry, I just took the pay there. I almost... Yeah, look, I could hire some of them, but no, let's just go get the nun and then see where we go from there. Because while we do want more company members, we don't necessarily want too many more because we don't have the equipment for them just yet. So, sister, are you ready to risk life and limb for the Lord? That's not how you spell Millicent. Oh! Well, she looks like she would make a fine archer. Were it... Oh god, asthmatic. Actually, yes, because archers don't build up as... And night owl. Okay, yes, because archers don't build up as much fatigue. So we'll give her a club as a backup weapon. Now, she will initially be a rather poor archer, but we have a contract. Ralph the merchant is looking at a poorly drawn map, then looks up at you as though you're the one responsible for making it. Look, mercenary, this is a strange thing to task you with, but you seem to have a good head on your shoulders. See this dark spot here? Would you be willing to venture that way and try and find the Forsaken Ruins? It's somewhere at or around the region of Heartsong's range. Of course I'll go do it, but what's the pay? He opens the palms of his hands. I'm tight on crowns, so before you ask, this is all I have right now. You're to receive 220 crowns when the contract is done. Very well, let's get on with it. To the south. Heartsong range, I see mountains already. Uh-oh. Dreadhorn. Forsaken ruins coming to view, and it's immediately reborn upon your map to the best of your illustrative capabilities. Millicent asks if that's all there is to do. You nod. A rough one or an easy one. Ralph the merchant will be willing to pay all the same. Goodness, where is it? Oh, down there. Okay, well, let's go back and get paid then. That was surprisingly easy. Ralph the merchant welcomes you back. You hand over your recently illustrated map and he pores over it, swatting the spotted mark with the back of his hand. Of course! That's where it is! He smirks and pays you what you're owed. Delightful. Well, let's head on up the road then, seeking employment. I am aware there's a road down this way, but is there one up here as well? Yes, there is. Deciding that Nesselwald is a good place to invest your efforts, you decide to offer the protection of the company and take up any work suitable to your talents. You act like a gentleman in your dealings with the locals and encourage the men to mind their manners while in the settlement. There is, of course, some... Sister Millicent has been arm wrestling with the farmers. Oh dear! But Marius the Crusader is sure that she'll... look, she joined a mercenary company. She thinks she's the strongest thing in the world, okay? And you know what? She needs a little bit of encouragement, I think. Maybe she's often being short of breath and coughing and wheezing. You know, giving her that sense of accomplishment, that sense of achievement, I think it'll be good for her morale, right? And there's a settlement up ahead. There we go. Ellengrube. Bertwin of Ellengrube angrily shakes his head. Brigands have been tearing up these roads for far too long. I sent a lad, Otto's son, to go find him, and you know what? Only his head came back. Of course, the idiot brigands sent one of their own to deliver it. We captured and interrogated him, so now we know where they are. The man leans back, peddling his thumbs over one another in thought. I do not have the men, but I do have the crowns. What say I slip some your way, and you slip a sword in their general direction? You know, if it makes the world a better place, it shall be done. He gesticulates with his hands, pointing at his fingers as if counting something, but it means nothing to you. But judging from your experience, this is a good payment for the task. You'll get 450 crowns when the contract is done. Well, you know what we're going to do? We're going to wait till morning. Okay, it's going to be a long night. There's no point camping at this point, but I'm going to wait till morning, see if we can hire another body to take with us to fight. And while I wait, actually... Sister, do you have... Oh, sling. So you don't have good ranged combat perks. I might just ignore that then and focus on that resolve. Keep her as standard bearer should be brilliant. Well, it's only 1 star, but it is 71 to begin with, and that's amazing, right? Okay, Town of Ellengrube. Who do you have for hire? Elmer, scary bald lady with a grumpy face. Torvald, Randolph the Ironmonger. Ooh. Good at salvage and repair. Yeah, we'll hire him, and we'll get some equipment as well. We'll sell off these things. There are no spears available. That's unfortunate. We'll get him a nice hatchet then and a shield. Okay. Now we'll pop him there. Give him a bit of armour. Alright. Now we're talking. Oh, and Sir Marius. What? Oh, Sir Marius is ginger. Okay. Wasn't quite expecting that. Now, we have brigands to go deal with. And they are off in the mountains. This is a very mountainous episode. So be it then. We're going to need some more food. And we're going to start needing some more arrows. So we get arrows, get some grain, some mushrooms, some bread, and off we go. Also, there's an armourer there, so we may be able to get some nice armour, although our money won't stretch to very much at this point. We'll have to make do with faith as our shield. It's a grim and silent trek through the mountains. Both our new companions, the Ironmonger and the Nun, know that either of them could perish in battle, and that none at all could return. There could be unholds or wolves roaming in the mountains. It could be horribly dangerous. But Sir Marius keeps their spirits up and tells them to have faith. Come on, it's not that difficult. I mean, he does just fine. Yeah, he has tons of training and good armour and a ridiculously powerful weapon. But I do like the perks he has, and so that sword may end up being... You know what? Randolph is rather low in resolve, so Brother Marius actually says, here, take my helmet. Wear that helmet, and every time anyone hits you on the head, it should hardly feel... You know, you shouldn't feel a thing. While you wear that helmet, while that helmet stays on your head and in good condition, you'll survive this fight. Let's hope he was correct. Dogus, Dogus. Again, lovely. We do not need Dogus, Dogus. We need archery. 39% is not grand, but what a shot. I think the sister's off to a fine start. What's that coming over the hill? Is it bandits? Is it bandits? Yes, it is. And some are even coming around the edge. Now this is where it's going to get interesting. I want Marius to delay in the hope that Randolph here can put down the dog on his own, and he couldn't, which means Marius is going to have to waste valuable points. I wanted Marius to rush up to here and face him, you see. Whereas these two would... Alright, sister, take your shot at this man here. It's better odds than the last one, but you're probably going to miss, and you did, which is fine. Oh, I love that. That is just so perfect right now. Ooh, misses him and somehow misses her as well. Right, Randolph, you know what to do. Axe goes up, axe comes down. Very effectively as well, by the way. Right, Marius, I want you to move to there. That didn't work. Okay, well, just kill some people. And then move to there. Oh, you can't. So that will do also fine. Right. Okay, that's a problem now. That is what I did not want. Well, sister, pray. Pray to your maker. Okay, that would be a problem, except for the fact that Sir Marius has an amazing sword, and he's not afraid to use it. Now move up to there. Then you get to go to here and stop this fleeing man from attacking the nun. Excellent. It's all going rather well. Apart from Sir Marius' off-putting ginger hair, that... Well, look, he can't help that. He was born that way. And that was just a real... My God. The brutality. Well, Sir Knight, you know what must be done. How healthy is he? Just make sure. Alright. And now it's time to press the attack on the hill until they choose to flee, and she was doing really well. She was going to survive and everything. They were going to sing songs about her back in town. Maybe she'll survive. I mean, it's a small chance, but it's a possibility. Oh, you cowards. You fleeing flea bags. You scum of the earth. Oh, really? Well, he's dead then. Alright. Let's make sure we engage both of them. Just to be sure. Right then. There is still a possibility that one of them will now get away. Yeah, we aren't catching him without dogs. Or the... Oh, and she does survive. However, she's lost a finger. And if that's all she's lost, that's amazing. Right. So we're going to give her the bandages. Oh, that's... I wonder if it was on her firing hand or her hand holding the bow. I suppose we can make up our own mind. It's probably crushed by all those sling stones. Right. Let's set these to repair. And I think we won't... Hang on. Do we camp before we get out of the mountains? I think yes. Right. Randolph. Blacksmith's hammer, a quarter of it applies to other one-handed hammers as well. He can be good with hammers. Well, he's not very good at fighting, so actually that's pretty good. So we'll get him fast adaptation. Get her back her bow. And I think we will absolutely camp here in the mountains. Because while Sir Marius is on watch, we are going to have Sister Millicent and Randolph in the healing tent. Wait. Is he good at healing? Yes, he is. Okay. So we will have Randolph on watch while Sir Marius deals with Sister Millicent's injured shoulder and bandages it up, because she's taken quite a battering. Sitting and jesting with the men while they check their kit, hone their blades and mend their armour, your mind wanders off to thinking about new ideas for improving the company and its reputation across the lands. What is your conclusion, and what do you tell the men? I think we'll try to get the company strength back to 6 men. It will make us a formidable force again and will allow us to take on more profitable work. And of course we're using men in the plural sense, which can include women. Alright. That's got to be enough, surely. Yes, we've treated our injury. And now it's time to head back to civilization. When we do, I think we'll probably end the episode. I know I haven't fully read out all of the text a few times here, but I imagine that if many of you are Battle Brothers fans, you're pretty familiar with it by now. And if not, hey, I'll endeavour to do more so in the next episode. The going is slow back in the mountains, especially helping Sister Millicent. I mean, we're going to have to look into what she's going to be capable of doing with a maimed hand. Come on. Ellengrube isn't that far away, and more disturbingly, Ellengrube, I believe, has a 2-skull contract which Sir Marius is going to want to take, which means we'll also probably want to hire on another body. How are we doing for... Okay, we have a pitchfork, I suppose. Yeah. And I'm not going to have Sir Marius wear the big skull helmet, because that's the sort of thing that a Crusader probably wouldn't wear. Bertwin of Ellengrube leans back in his chair, folding his hands over his lap. Sellswords don't sit right with many folks, I suppose, on the account of your killing and destroying whole villages on a short-changed whim, but I admit you've done well. He nods to a corner of the room where a wooden chest lies unopened. It's all there, but I won't be offended if you count it. You do count it, and indeed, it is all there. Ellengrube no longer has ambushed trade routes. Hooray! You know what? What do they have by way of equipment again? Ooh. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. So the question is... Okay, if we take on this housemaid, who... Look, she's fallen on hard times, okay? She's lost her job, she's had to sell her hair to the wig makers to try and make money. And, yeah. Poor Marguerite. That's not how you spell Marguerite. If it's going to be Marguerite, it's 2 G's and an E. Possibly 2 T's. We go Margaret, I suppose. Yeah, we'll go Margaret. Or Marge. Go Margaret, go Margaret. No, that's stupid. Margaret. So old Margaret, she's been... Margaret, no. Crikey. Yeah, it is like 8 in the morning. So we'll give her a pitchfork for now. Let's see. Steady hands and dexterous. Nice. And give her a padded leather tunic so she's got a bit more protection. Let's sell off. We'll keep the sling. Okay. Sell the hammer and this crude piece of equipment. I mean, I suppose you can call it equipment. Oh, that's actually a good price. We should purchase these gems after our next, but we want to buy the helmet. It's a really nice helmet. You know what? It will probably still be a really nice helmet when the job is done. Let's see what the task is. Oh, it's an escort mission. Okay. Egon the merchant cuts right to the point. I've got a shipment of, well, what it is doesn't concern you. It's going to Brunnenfest, and like many folks, I'm worried about brigands on the road. I need you to watch the caravan and to make sure it arrives safe and sound in about 2 days. Does that sound something you'd be interested in? Look, if there are brigands and a threat to commerce, we'll go. He opens a palm in his hands. I'm title and crowns, so before you ask, this is what I have right now. It's 15 crowns a head you arrive with, and I'll pay for up to 15 heads, another 320 when the job is done. That could pay very highly, but it's going to be very dangerous. We accept the offer, but we are buying that helmet in that case. And who gets to wear this fantastic piece of headgear? Well, Margaret hasn't even got any hair. Of course she needs to protect the vulnerable flesh of her head. So there we go. In the next episode, we're going to be setting off with this caravan, but for now, I'm going to say bye-bye. I hope you all enjoyed this episode, and I'll look forward to seeing you all in the next one. Cheerio, folks.